Hello you, it's me. Today we're going to talk about Man Plus by Frederick Pohl, who wrote one of my favourite books of all time, Gateway. I'm going to be going through the plot and review. Things I like, things I didn't like are going to be mixed in. There probably will be lots of spoilers because this is a very old book, but it probably won't be a long review because this is a very short book. But as always, everything relevant will be marked on the time bar. This is a retro science fiction novel published first in 1976. The Earth's doomsday clock is steadily ticking closer to midnight, and the government is absolutely convinced that peace can be achieved, or at least war postponed, if they get people on Mars. When something goes wrong with the mission, Roger Torroway, our main character, is called in at the last minute as a replacement astronaut to have his body surgically modified to fit the Martian environment and help establish a permanent, altered human settlement on the Red Planet. I think more than anything else, this is a novel about short-sightedness, about not thinking more than 5 minutes in the future, not really considering the consequences of your actions. Maybe also a criticism of how, in times of crisis, ambition makes administrations forget that people are people and not resources. I think overall there are some really good messages in here, but they are kind of overshadowed by how illogical and bonkers a lot of this book is. The impact is really lessened. Roger is slowly taken apart by the Man Plus program, becoming more machine than human, more cyborg than what he was before. He's given thick, elephantine skin, red compound eyes, solar panels that for some reason are designed to look like big bat wings. It's a bit silly, in order to be better suited to the environment he's going to be in. He knows from the off that it is a permanent journey. But there seems to be a lot of discussion all the way through the book about how easily reversible all of the procedures that he's undergoing are. They talk about the need to engineer humans because terraforming Mars is something that would take a huge amount of time. And it's unclear whether they want him to be a new species that lives there just because they can, or some kind of heavy labour slave, because at the end of the book, regular humans, are sent to Mars with him, which kind of defeat the purpose of the whole Man Plus program and counter everything that they spent the whole book saying. All the time, he knows that his wife, who supposedly loves him, is sleeping with another guy on the project who is actually one of the surgeons who is working on Roger. And there seems to be this weird hesitance for him to do anything about that or bring it up to anybody. But the conversation turns a lot to how he cannot be with his wife, how much he misses his wife. And also, as part of the program, they cut off his dick. I feel like the reason given for this was pretty weak, but they do lead to all thoughts about sort of male inadequacy. I don't know how I feel about Roger's reaction to this though, because even before he lost his junk, he was going crazy, like actually crazy, that he wasn't able to have sex for a few weeks, and then they do remove his penis and he goes bonkers. It's not the fact it was taken away, it's the fact that they did all the other stuff to him before that. Like, they took his eyes out, they took his eyeballs out, and he was fine with that. But then his dick's gone, and he's like, now I'm not okay. I am shocked at how much I thought this book was daft, because Pohl did write, as I said before, one of my favourite sci-fi novels, and I think one of the best sci-fi series ever written, the Heechee saga, of which Gateway is the first book. The writing style is there, he is not a bad writer at all, but where Gateway felt like a Hollywood blockbuster, this felt like a straight-to-TV Sci-Fi Channel B-movie. The science community in this book, not understanding the consequences of their actions, seemed deliberately and almost comically stupid on one page. And then the next page, people on the team were like, yeah, sure, I'll knock up the first ever bionic, multifaceted, human-compatible bionic eyeball. Just give me a few hours. So there was this feeling of, for me, weird inconsistency. And while the writing is good, it's a very snail-paced plot for a book this short. There are lots of long periods where nothing happens, besides Roger sort of pondering his experiences and talking about his wife, which is super weird. It's not exciting to read. Like a lot of sci-fi written in the 60s, written in the 70s, the rep is not good. Women in this book do exist sort of just to be lusted over. It feels like every single person that meets Dory, Roger's wife, immediately wants to just sleep with her. The only things you ever learn about her is that she runs a pottery shop, she likes to cheat on her husband, and she's pretty. And there's also another woman who's a nurse who sneaks into Roger's facility to do a whole hero worship. Oh my god, you're so cool, you're so brave for undergoing this procedure thing, which is exhausting to read. I think there are a lot of things that could have been explored in this novel very well, that the groundwork was absolutely there for. And it could have been a meaningful novel about a man's relationship to the people around him, with his own body, with his soul, and how the alteration of his physical self would affect all of those things. I think the aim may have been to capture the disconnect between Roger and the rest of his species as he slowly becomes more different than them. There is more in the way of how would a human being be affected emotionally by this situation than a lot of sci-fi that was written at the time. So I guess when this came out, it would probably have been quite different to stuff people were used to reading, which may have been something that contributed to it winning the Nebula Prize. This turned into a bit of a rant review. I like how this book didn't pretend that space colonization is going to be easy, but I still think it's very dated and I wasn't a huge fan. It's just a bit too silly for me. But this doesn't diminish my love for Gateway. If you take anything away from this review, please go and read Gateway. It is an amazing book. It's a masterpiece. But I'm going to give this one 2 stars. So thanks for watching my review. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews that come thick and quick. I read pretty fast. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Goodreads, linked down below. And if you like sci-fi as much as I do, join our Interstellar Bookclub Discord, which is also linked down below in the description. And I'll see you soon for the next one. Bye.